Hello friends and welcome back to Wanderlust Gaming. So today I wanted to talk about why you shouldn't buy third-party games on the Nintendo Switch 2, because we have seen a lot of games that are performing really bad. One of them in particular is the Elden Ring, which is funnily enough called the Tarnished Edition. I don't know why they decided to call it like that, but they're saying IGN said that the game runs absolutely terrible. The game does suffer a lot of performance in open areas like Limgrave, and the frame rate drops are like really significant, when you turn the camera. So it does affect the gameplay because it makes the combat really confusing, and it really it's a terrible experience when you do exploration. So this is like one of them. Another one that was like recently described to have a bad performance is Borderlands 4, which is like a terrible game anyway. At least I don't like the guy who's directing the game. He's very cocky. He's saying like he should charge $200 to play that game. But yeah, this game Borderlands 4 is also having really like bad performance issues. And it just made me realize, like, I'm like, wow, that's why I have the Steam Deck, and all my third-party games and like games like that, like that are like on many systems, they're all gonna go on my Steam Deck. No Man's Sky also recently released like huge update, and the game runs like beautiful on the Steam Deck. So I think I already knew this. For some reason Nintendo, when it comes to like third-party games on Nintendo systems, they absolutely just run like trash. They don't put like good effort into it. Maybe once in a while, for example, it's good to get the Nintendo Switch version just because of a few exclusive games. I don't know if you guys play Starlink, but Starlink, the Switch version came with Star Fox exclusive characters and airship, so that's why I decided to get it on the Switch, and it was a good decision. The game it's fun. But from now on, I highly recommend everybody to just keep your third parties on computer systems, especially if you have a Steam Deck, because I think Steam is like a really great. It's better than Nintendo, and the only reason I have the Nintendo Switch 2 is because of the Nintendo games. Otherwise I wouldn't have gotten one. But I do have like some preference in some games when it comes to Nintendo. So I love the Zeldas, the Pokemon, the Animal Crossing games, and that's why that's the only reason I'll purchase a system. And all these like stupid companies think like, oh, we should just like get rid of exclusivity and just put their games like everywhere. Well, as a gamer, that's a good victory, but they should demand the same for Nintendo. Gamers should come together and demand Nintendo that they put their games on every system, so we don't have to buy all these stupid systems. Even though I think the Switch 2 is a really great system in terms of like hardware, really nice, but the Steam Deck just blows it out of the water completely, and I'm gonna be making a video about that. So I hope that you guys learned your lesson. Keep your third-party games on like a better computer focused systems like the Steam Deck or the Lenovo Legion Go or the ROG Ally. I think that's probably the smartest thing to do, because the performance on the Switch 2 it's just not gonna happen, guys. So unless it's a Nintendo game, then the Nintendo games will run just fine. That's it for today, guys. Have a good day. Bye bye.